Charlie is 10 years old, she's transgender, and she has been fighting for transgender rights for much of her young life. Charlie joins me now live from Ottawa. Charlie, welcome to you.
Hey.
How are you feeling today?
I'm actually feeling pretty good because, well, since this legislation is going to pass, it's extremely likely to pass, and it's basically about protecting trans people. Well, not just trans people, but LGBTQ2S, which is basically the spectrum of basically different gender diversity, which is basically the spectrum of gender diversity. And this one basically protects transgender and two-spirit and queer people, gender queer and gender fluid, from hate propaganda, crimes, assaults, rape, stuff like that. It basically protects them from a lot of dangers and could stop the people who would have done in the past but are really paranoid about getting caught. And the ones who say, I'm going to get out of it, if they do try, then they're probably going to get caught by the police if somebody reports them, or if the person who actually was experiencing what the person did reports it. So I'm feeling really happy that this law is passing, probably.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about your story. You're 10 years old. You were born a boy.
Yeah, so basically, when I was 2 and 3, I was expressing kind of a female gender because I was dressing up in my mom's high heels, and my favorite color was pink, and I was dancing around my mom's high heels. And when I was 3, I said to my mom, I'm a girl, I'm not a boy, God got me wrong. And my mom was perfectly fine with that. She said, okay, be who you are. Because I think that I'm really lucky to have very accepting parents, my mom and my dad, and accepting friends and family.
What did that mean when she said, be who you are? Let's skip forward to when you went to school. What did that mean when you first went to school?
Well, when I was in kindergarten, first year, I didn't know that people would be so discriminatory because I was younger, I haven't experienced school before. And the month after the first month, I wore nail polish, and there was this guy on the van who said, nail polish isn't for boys, and then started physically bullying me a lot, frankly. And he was only in grade 1, but he didn't know that certain colors are just labeled for genders, and certain things or makeup are just labeled for girls or boys.
What's the worst bullying that you ever experienced for being a transgender child?
Well, I'm going to say the worst bullying I've ever experienced. Even though kindergarten, junior, and senior was pretty bad, in grade 1, there was this one person in the class who really disliked me, frankly. And he told another person who was in grade 4 at the time, I thought he was in grade 6 since I was so small, and that my enemy was in grade 2. He told a grade 4 person to, I saw him talking with a grade 4 person who eventually jumped when I was just lying in the sand or sitting in the sand. He jumped on me, and I basically couldn't breathe. I almost couldn't breathe. I tried to get him off, and back then I was really aggressive, and I was also strong, so I just kind of reached behind and kind of just pushed him off. But it was hard noticing that could actually happen to a person just because of their gender. And eventually, the person who disliked me and told the grade 4 said, I was just paranoid about what you could do to me. He eventually said that. So, and
he was paranoid about what you could do to him.
Yeah, because he basically thought that I could have been a monster, somebody who, since he was younger, he didn't know what being transgender was or anything like that until I actually taught him about it later on when he was a bit a bit more okay with it.
What do you, Charlie, what do you make of the, I mean, have you been paying attention to the arguments that have been going on in the United States, talking about, you know, the scary, as somebody put it this morning, the scary bathroom situation?
Yeah. Last year, there was Bill C-279, which was supposed to protect us, similar to this year's Bill C-204 and C-16. But Senator Plett added an amendment on it that basically made it so that I had to go into the washroom gendered as the gender that I was born with, in this case, a boy's washroom, even though I look like a girl. Because he thought that we would assault or rape other people because we switch genders and then go to do stuff. Actually, it's the exact opposite. We're the ones who are getting assaulted and raped. And basically, so if I went into that boy's washroom, then it would have been pretty bad. In the USA, it's still going on.
The fear at the time, as I understand it, was that a predator might disguise themselves as a transgender woman and go into a women's washroom, thereby putting someone at risk. Not that transgender people would do it, but someone might disguise themselves to get access to children or women. What's your response to that, if you have one, if you've thought about it?
Well, that's what some people think, like Senator Plett, but true transgender people that are honest to their gender would never do that. If they actually did that, then they would have some problems rising up in their life. They would have had some problems. If they didn't have any problems, then they'd probably be perfectly fine. They probably wouldn't do anything like that.
All right. Well, 10-year-old Charlie Lothian Rickard, I want to thank you for joining me from Ottawa. This must be a fantastic day for you, getting to sit beside or stand beside the minister and speak to your life's passion at 10 years old.
Thank you for inviting us on. Thank you for inviting us on CBC News.
All right. 10-year-old Charlie Lothian Rickard joining me live from Ottawa. And while